Hey everyone. So I have some really great news and I have some mixed news. Um, I managed to fix the project. This is the great news. Basically, the structs were causing issues, so I was able to do a fairly simple fix by taking the biggest struct and just making it a single struct rather than nesting structs. Apparently, the more structs you have, the closer things get to hell, and you'll never be able to get everything working correctly once it finally does break. However, it doesn't solve a lot of other issues. I have every once in a while an object will suddenly decide that it no longer pulls any information from the struct gets reset and the item goes back to what it was before. Uh, I have managed to this problem where the this pin comes unconnected that has gone away, and so that leaves me basically with a couple of weird errors still. One of them is that uh, if I try to run the editor in multiplayer right now, it will crash sometimes. Uh, I don't understand this, but here you go. Check it out. And crashed. Okay, but I can run it without multiplayer. I can run it whatever. Uh, I feel like there's just so many stupid things, and I'll see other people talk about like, oh yeah, no, you could totally do it. You could totally do blueprint projects. You just have to like jump through all these weird hoops and stuff like that. And I guess one can argue that you always have to jump through hoops in game design, but I feel like these are fucking stupid hoops, and it's still very much in early stages. I guess with that said, I mean, I guess in a way it's kind of a good thing that things are still this early because if blueprints were super perfect already, like I kind of feel a little bit like blueprints make things a little too easy, and that's going to have other effects down the line. Having tools that just get better and better like this are just going to make things too easy, and now we're going to end up with another problem. Uh, but maybe we're a ways off because I have to like jump through all these weird hoops and do all these weird things in order to be able to get the project to not behave extremely weird. With that said, I did some research on the alternative ways to do it, um, to do things. These are the errors that I get now, and sorry, I'm distracted. 1 second. These new ones popped up. I had it all clear where it was like nothing else was popping up. Now I'm back to having these again. So it's like it was fixed for a little bit, and now it's back. So the alternative is something called data tables. Um, okay, so data tables. Sorry about that last second ago. Okay, so data tables are a really awesome way to handle mass amounts of different types of items, which would solve pretty much the vast majority of the problems that I'm currently dealing with on this project. So let's just say that I have data tables set up in such a way right now I have a base inventory item class, right? So this is what I can't really figure out is how to organize and what the workflow that it is most optimal when it comes to working with data tables is. Because I understand the hierarchical system pretty damn well that I already have going with structs, but apparently that just exudes all kinds of different problems. Even though I have it working and the inventory system is pretty much done, I feel like it's gonna break at any moment and I'm getting errors and it's really not cool. So I think any future projects that I work with are gonna be done with data tables. Well, so I make a base inventory item class, right? Which is kind of like Qt item base in my looter shooter game. Okay, do you see how that is? So there's this base class that can then be used to do all the different items in the entire game, right? So how do the data tables come into this? Because do I need to make like a different data table and struct for every different type of item class, and then have them all be present and pull from those lists? Because one of the things that I'm noticing when it comes to getting a data table row, or even just a data table in general, is that it you can't assign it to a variable. So I can't like I can't do anything with this. So this is always going to end up having to be a static thing. I can't change it by making a child object. All helmets, right? I can't say child object, inventory item, helmets, right? If I do this, I load this up, and I go to the, I guess I could try in the helmets thing now. I can be like, oh, um, get your data table here, uh, and do this, and then have this point to the specific helmet data table. All right, so I'd end up still having a hierarchy, but it's not quite as convoluted or messed up as the way I'm doing it currently with the current project with structs. But is that really the right way to do this? Or is there more going on here? Or, like, if I'm going to have a bunch of helmets and I'm going to have a bunch of gloves and body pieces and let's just say I have 1,000 of each, they can't all be in the same data table. And I'm not going to put, and every time I add a new one, it's like going to be all the way at the bottom of the list. So if I have like, um, so like body, and this one will be legs, and this one will be boots, and then that'll be for that set, and then I'll have another one that's like helmet 2, right? Like, doing it this way is really, uh, I guess it's okay, but I'm not gonna mix weapons in with this list. I'm definitely not gonna want to mix in my potions and other stuff, right? Like, so there has to be more than one data table, but I still want to have a base class, so that I can organize like when I want to have only helmets and I want to be able to point to a helmet. I know that there's a variable and I want to store only the helmets in the game, and there it is. Like, uh, so what do I do? Like, yeah, there's this get thing, get row, get table, get data table row name, and then this can become a variable, and this variable can be modified, and then it can point it to a very specific thing. Um, yeah, I can be like helmet or body, right? Okay. Um, so I guess I still just use the hierarchy for this, but I'm using the data table to grab all the information that I need. So there it is. This is what the helmet does, right? But I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna every time I add a new one, I have to go to the base class. So like I'm modifying the base class right now because I can't just do this in helmets over here because that doesn't work. Like, okay, so that's that. That's the question. Is like, what the fuck? What is the ideal workflow with this? How do you get this to not suck? Like, I want to like an organized way to deal with this. I already asked about it on the forums, but I get a lot of people answering different questions or something. I'm trying to figure out like okay, I'm gonna have hundreds, if not thousands, of objects. I want to be able to get this organized in such a way where it's set up so that it doesn't make me want to pull my hair out, and then it doesn't cause all these freaking crazy errors. What's gonna be the best way to like get all these objects together and be like, I can look at it and go, okay, and I can point to only the helmets, and then I can point to only the body pieces, and I can point to only the weapons, or even just weapons of specific types. Like, I might only want shotguns in one list. I want all the shotguns in the entire game to be on one list or something. Like, the data tables are really fantastic, but how do I access the information, and what's the most optimal way to work with that flow? Okay, with that said, let me show what I do have in Quake template. All right. Okay, so I've done more work now that I've been able to actually progress. The actual core inventory system is done. All the different types of item classes are in. All of the different things that I want for the entire project are there. The things that I'm missing now are is a sort, some kind of way to like sort the items, and oh shit, that's it. All these other buttons are now functional. So like, I get these unlock items. Those have been working for a while. Um, you can even loot all things, so I can do this. Like, you can just loot everything at once. So like, let me go to here. Okay, these are all the crafting things. So if I just press R, I could just be like, pow, and grab all the armor and all the health and stuff. These are new items. I actually have a status effect system in place, so it's actually possible to now also do potions, which give you buffs that last a certain amount of time. And it works, and it does everything it's supposed to. And so like, Enduring gives you increased hit points, maximum HP, lasts about 260 seconds or something like that. Marksman increases your accuracy. Endless gives you more stamina for when you're doing double jumps and jetpacking around. Stone Skin gives you 25% armor class. Sprinters increases your sprint speed. Berserker increases your attack power. Okay, so which is basically the same thing as the armor. It's the same naming convention, except there's no endless armor class, but all the other names are there. All the guns are functional. Everything's working at the moment. Okay, so the next thing is, let me just grab a bunch of stuff. Any purples in here? Just lots of greens and shit. And get a blue. All right. So with all of these things, let me get this bigger. So there's a dismantle button, you'll notice, right? This dismantle button means also like being able to break items down into crafting components. So like you can only do one item at a time. So say if you have armor shards and you want to break those down into armor parts, you'll see up here, watch the armor parts go up. And it's like one at a time. Green items and blue items and purple items, I guess it's more pink, increase the number of those items that you get. So the higher quality items tend to give you more crafting ingredients. So like there, I got 5 equipment parts, stim packs, and then this would all tie into a crafting system where you collect blueprints and you use them. And I guess that's what I'm missing, is I don't have a blueprint system in place. But for what is going on right now, the inventory system itself is there. The only other thing I could think of really outside of just like quality of life features is just tooltips. The tooltip system is going to be hell because there's so many different types of items. There's probably going to need to be more than one widget that behaves differently depending on what kind of item I'm mousing over. But that's that. So like I can take a rapid rocket launcher that I don't like because it's only level 1 and I'm like level 5 now. So I break it down into gun parts, and I got like 3 gun parts for that. And boom. I don't like these worn gloves. Even though they're green, their stats still suck. So I'm just going to break those down. And then the other thing is that you break down the actual parts into crafting tools. So you still need to have crafting tools in order to be able to compile, in order to be able to craft it all. So like, you have to also make sure that you have enough crafting tools by breaking down these things. So you break these things down and you get these. And all the crafting recipes will require a certain amount of tools. Sometimes they'll require alchemy components, and sometimes they'll be like that. But for the most part, it'll be like you need 10 armor parts in order to make a combat armor or something like that. Like, and that's pretty much it. Like, well, at least that's the plan anyway. The thing is that I have a couple of things left to do on this that are a giant pain. But that's pretty much the gist of it. Like, you're looking at it, it's functional, but it's not ideal. So, knowing what I know currently right now, and knowing that I know that data tables exist, I can't in good conscience sell this project. I'm not going to sell it for money. The only thing I can do is give it away free and say, this is what not to do with this game, with this tech. If you do things this way, you're going to run into the same problems as me, and good luck at that point, because it's just like rolling the dice every damn time you load the editor up. I'm hoping the data table system is the better way to go. And I don't want to start the project over completely. I actually still want to finish it within reason. At least like, some playable maps, some bad guys, just so that I can get an idea of what it's like to do the entire process. That way I have the experience that I need to be able to work within this framework. All right. With that said, I gotta cut this short because I'm not allowed to do very long videos anymore. Hope you enjoyed and found this informative. And please, if you know how to work with data tables in a way that's conducive to this kind of a project, let me know, because I'm probably going to be doing a lot of actual examples that are being done in ways that the engine won't hate you for. I'm looking forward to actually having that chance. Okay, all right. Hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. I'll probably try to do more videos as I'm updating on this. I've been kind of quiet lately, so anyway, there you go.